Good morning. It is now 11 a.m. Calling the roll for the Monday, April 16th Board of Control meeting. Nan Baker. Dale Miller. Joe Nani serving as an alternate for Dan Brady.
Here.
Ish.
Here.
Dennis Kennedy. Lenora Lockett. We have a quorum.
Thank you. The minutes from April 9th. Any corrections? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Any public comment?
No public comment at this time.
Okay. No tabled items?
And no tabled items.
Okay, let's go.
First item BC 2018-235, Department of Development, recommending an award on requisition 41532 and enter into a sole source contract with Court Community Services in the amount not to exceed $50,000 for litter control services and oversight in selected urban communities. And it's for the period April 1st, 2018 through March 31st, 2019.
Good morning, Sarah Parks Jackson with the Department of Development, requesting a $50,000 award to Court Community Services. In 2014 was the first time we sought an organization to provide litter control in our commercial areas as requested by some of those cities. Court Community Service itself was created by Cleveland Municipal Court Judge Ronald Adrian for the purpose of providing nonviolent offenders an opportunity to work off their fines while performing a public purpose. They've been doing this for 29 years. These are areas that we, through our HUD regulations, have identified as in need, and the cities contact Court Community Service to indicate they want to participate, and that's how they're selected, and they work 7 days a week, year-round, and they're already in 57 of our communities, including the city of Cleveland.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Councilwoman Baker.
Thank you for that explanation. That's good to know. What specifically is the $50,000 for? What does that spend for?
That is Court Community Services administration of the program, yes.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Nani?
Is Court Community Service a nonprofit, or is it affiliated with the city or the county?
It is a nonprofit, but it was created by
the
Judge Adrian.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
Thank you.
I would like to call the roll for Mike Dever. Next item BC 2018-236, Department of Information Technology, recommending an award on requisition 42055 and enter into a sole source contract with V Discovery LLC, doing business as Eureka Software, in the amount not to exceed $54,700, and it's for the purchase of Eureka Intelligence Platform e-discovery software. And the time period is being amended. It's for the period April 16th, 2018 through April 15th, 2020, the new revised date, 4/15/2020.
Thank you. Good morning, Board. Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. The amended dates is correct. The contract will be for 2 years. Eureka is a software platform that's become the county standard. It's a product out of a pilot that was done 2 years ago. What this does is this protects sensitive data on the county systems, such as Social Security numbers, financial information, passwords, credit card information, complies with HIPAA and other regulatory requirements that track risk. And again, this is the byproduct, if you will, of a pilot that was tried and successful.
Thank you. Any questions? Mr. Nani?
I'm just more curious, how does this work? Is it installed on individual computers, or how is it protecting data?
Not on individual computers. It's through, on the network side, it's on we have a subscription for 1,000 licenses that work, that are active when you're within the parameters of the financial or whatever areas.
So is it just blocking like Social Security data from being transferred to other people, that type of thing? It's like a firewall?
Like other software that filters and protects.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Nani. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Next item is a two-part item, item BC 2018-237, Department of Information Technology. A, submitting an RFP exemption on requisition 42379, which will result in an award recommendation to Microsoft Corporation in the amount of $28,551.21, and it's for the purchase of 15 Microsoft Surface Pro i5 tablets and peripherals. And B, recommending the award in connection with said RFP exemption.
Again, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. These Surface Pro tablets are the hardware standard for the county, and these are going to be needed and actually used by various agencies. This is being bought off a PO from the Texas Department of Information Resources, the cooperative that was approved back in January by this board.
Thank you. Any questions? Mr. Nani?
Does this include the imaging of the computers, or is that still done? I know MCPC used to do it, or we did it internally.
We still image here, right?
MCPC still aids us in imaging the computers.
Okay, so is that cost on top of what we see in front of us, or how's that?
That's something that's already negotiated separately. It won't be a cost.
There's no additional cost for the imaging?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Separate agreement.
Thanks.
Councilwoman Baker.
The tablets, I know we were going to use tablets for the Public Works. So is this part of that Public Works tablets, or is this outside of that?
And this is outside. The agencies I'm aware of is Planning Commission, Department of IT, the executive staff for the chief of staff. Those are the agencies I'm aware of.
Okay. And if I may, is this a new practice, having tablets outside of their desk?
From what I understand, unless there's something I'm not aware of, these are in lieu of a desktop. We bring the desktops back into inventory.
That is correct. Janelle Green from IT. What this does is that we set up, dual monitors and things like that. So this replaced the actual tower. And so they have the ability to undock the tablet and take that remotely wherever they need to go.
Further questions? Councilman Miller, did you have?
We're the same.
Okay.
If I may just follow
Councilwoman
up.
Baker.
So can we anticipate that there will be more tablets asked for other departments and probably Public Works?
Public Works is actually using Galaxy tablets for their EAM mobility project. So that will be outside of this. This is more for general desktop, because with that functionality on the surfaces, it's the same as having, a laptop and things like that. So in lieu of laptops and having a desktop, this will be that replacement. We can only, as we get requests, we can only just have that replacement go out. And so far, we've had these requests. So it could become another, an increase. And what we do is charge, have an expense adjustment back to that department for the cost of these items.
And I guess I would ask, even if it's maybe rhetorical, but I would guess that we would want to have some strategic plan as to how many of these we would, to get perhaps a better price and more uniformity in how our departments.
Definitely. The uniformity is on the operating system side. That way the imaging costs would, come down. These are Windows 10 machines, and that we have some machines that are on Windows 7 and things like that. So, but in terms of getting the requests ahead of time, we try to go and ask, but that all depends on the department's funds availability and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Nani. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Next item, item BC 2018-238, Sheriff's Department, recommending an award on requisition 42047 and enter into a sole source contract with Smith's Detection, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $150,839.64. And it's for on-site maintenance services on security X-ray machines located in various county buildings. And it's for the period July 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2021.
Good morning, Lilia Lathan on behalf of the Sheriff's Department. We are requesting approval for the contract for Smith Detection in the amount of $158.39.64. Smith Detection will provide on-site maintenance for all of our Smith Detection X-ray machines that are located throughout the county buildings. The contract period It's from July of 18 through December of 2021. Smith Detection equipment is comprised of assemblies and parts that made this a sole source purchase, based on the X-ray machines that we have in the buildings. And if we choose not to approve this, then we would void the warranty that we have for the X-ray machines.
Thank you. Questions? Mr. Nani?
Just curious by what you just said, is if it voids the warranty,
Yeah.
what is the service we're getting then? What's the difference between
This
the
is for our
warranties?
on-site, like when you originally buy them, you have your 1-year extended warranty. So this is for service, the service outside of that 1-year warranty.
But if it, do you know what I'm saying, is if it voids the warranty, we probably aren't.
So if they have to come in for just general maintenance, or we call someone in, that 1-year warranty, if we have to call someone in just for a general maintenance, or if something goes wrong, if we don't call Smith in, then it will void that 1 year or 2-year warranty that we have on that new machine.
On the new machines, I
Right.
understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, it's only if we didn't use this company that we would run the risk of violating
Yes.
the warranty.
Yes.
Any further questions?
I do.
Mr. Dever?
How many machines do we actually have, and what's the average life on the machines?
We currently have 3 that's in the Justice Center, 3 in Old Courthouse, 2 in Juvenile Justice, 2 in Hunter, 2 in Virgil E. Brown, 1 in Old Brooklyn, 1 in West Shore, and 4 at headquarters.
Okay, and then just following up, is the life of these machines, I'm assuming the technology becomes better over the years and whatnot. So are we trying to turn these over every 5 years, every 7 years? Is there a new machine
No, well,
coming?
what happened, we bought some new ones, and so with the old ones, we kind of expanded, so the old ones we put in places that didn't already have X-ray machines or metal detectors, and we put the new ones, say for instance at the Justice Center, we just put a new one at the main entrance of the Justice Center, but the ones that were there, they just recycled and put them in a different building. So, yeah.
So it's a recycle.
Yeah. So they're recycling the old ones, getting as much use out of them as they possibly can.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
By Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item, BC 2018-239, is being withdrawn at the request of the department. We're moving on to item BC 2018-240, Sheriff's Department, submitting an agreement with Metro Health System, Police Department, in the amount not to exceed $5,000 for inmate housing services, and it's for the period December 1st, 2017 through November 30th, 2018.
Good morning. Lauren Harwell presenting on Sheriff's Department Division of Corrections. We have a revenue generating contract with the Metro Health Police Department to take prisoner boarding care of their fresh arrest at the county jail.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none, I move to. I'm sorry. Did you have a question?
I do.
Councilman Miller.
It doesn't seem that we can house very many prisoners for $5,000. Is it anticipated that this is not going to be used very often?
Correct. It's not. They're very few and far between that we get one of their fresh arrests.
Okay.
Further questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Dever. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Next item, BC 2018-241, Department of Health and Human Services, Cuyahoga Job and Family Services, on behalf of the Division of Children and Family Services, submitting an amendment to a contract with Burlington Stores, Inc., formerly known as Burlington Coat Factory Warehouse Corporation, for emergency assistance services, and is for the period September 1st, 2012 through April 30th, 2018, to extend the time period to April 30th, 2019, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $350,000.
Good morning, Bob Math with the Department of Health and Human Services on behalf of Children and Family Services. This is an amendment to an existing contract we have with Burlington Coat Factory to provide a range of, clothing and, school uniforms for, families involved in the child welfare system. We initially issued an RFP back this past December for emergency services. Emergency services include clothing, food, furniture, and appliances. When we issued that RFP and the responses came in January, there was only one response for clothing, and that clothing provider couldn't meet our needs. They only wanted to do gift cards, and it was a big store, and there was no way to monitor exactly what those gift cards were being used. We reached out to Burlington to ask them why they didn't respond, and they indicated there were some changes, staff change in their corporate headquarters, and they never saw the RFP. So we reached out to them and asked them if they wanted to continue, which of course they did. Then we elected to amend our existing contract with Burlington, for an additional year beginning May 1st.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is a two-part item, item BC 2018-242, Department of Health and Human Services, Community Initiatives Division, Office of Homeless Services. A, submitting an RFP exemption on requisition 41895, which will result in an award recommendation to Westside Catholic Center in the amount not to exceed $170,000, and it's for fiscal agent services in connection with the Identification Documentation Collaborative, and it's for the period March 1st, 2018 through February 28th, 2019. And B, recommending the award in connection with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Shari Weir, Office of Homeless Services. Westside Catholic serves as the fiscal agent for the Identification Documentation Collaborative. The ID Collaborative is a service for low-income and disabled Cuyahoga County residents who need documentation such as birth certificates, social security cards, those sorts of things, so that they can apply for or maintain eligibility for a range of services, benefits, apply for jobs, housing, etc. The collaborative is available to people at 29 sites throughout the county. Westside Catholic handles the fiscal agent responsibilities.
Thank you. Any questions? Mr. Kennedy.
Just one question. How is the $170,000, how is that paid out? Is that per usage, or is that just a flat fee? Do you know?
It's monthly. It's reimbursement, and so there is a portion of the $170,000 that goes towards some percent. And I'm sorry, I don't know the exact percent of a staff person's salary. The rest is reimbursement for the actual documents. And so the contract is monitored with each reimbursement to ensure that the documents being paid for are within the terms of the contract.
Okay, thank you.
And I mean, it also covers things like mailing and, mailing costs and so forth, but yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Nani.
Just another quick question. Is it, the cost of this contract, has it been pretty consistent over the years since we started? Okay. Like the same amount, or has it risen?
You know what? I want to say yes, but I'm not 100% sure, but I can verify that.
Okay. And then when you get a chance, I was just curious that if you could email over the number of people served annually.
Mm-hmm.
Councilman Miller.
I can answer that question. It's $4,000 to $5,000 annually, and when you figure that the documents average about $35 cost for a set of documents, that accounts for most of the money.
Any further questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, item number BC 2018-243, Department of Health and Human Services, Community Initiatives Division, Office of Early Childhood, recommending an award on requisition 40533 to Strategic Resources Consulting, LLC, in the amount not to exceed $100,000, and it's for faith-based and/or community-based organizations outreach and referral program services for the Universal Pre-Kindergarten 2.0 initiative, and it's for the period April 1st, 2018 through March 31st, 2019, and the funding source is being amended to reflect the Cleveland Foundation as the funding source.
Good morning. John Ladd with the Office of Early Childhood. Strategic Resources Consulting was the highest ranked respondent to the RFP for this program, and we feel they have put together a comprehensive plan to reach both individuals and the community as a whole with some outreach and promotion about the Universal Pre-Kindergarten program. We're particularly impressed with the depth of the plan and how responsive they've been to our input in developing such a plan. And we feel it'll be helpful in helping us fill those remaining seats that are available.
Thank you. Questions? Councilman Miller.
So is the primary function of the outreach program to reach families that have eligible children that are not enrolled and encourage them to apply?
Yes, filling seats. I mean, we're 86% full now, which we're thrilled with, but we want to be 100%. Filling seats is the primary objective of this.
And what kinds of community-based organizations are involved in this?
The organizations that will be most directly involved with this are faith-based organizations and coalitions of faith-based organizations. We also work with Starting Point, which is a community-based organization, on a lot of what we do. This initiative here primarily engages the faith-based community, which is an area where we need some additional outreach, and we feel the faith-based community can deliver certain levels of awareness and impressions that we're not getting elsewhere.
And are neighborhood organizations like CDCs and block clubs involved in this at all, or is it pretty much limited to faith-based?
They will be involved in the events portion. Part of the deliverables in this contract involves organizing some community events. So we'll be working with the faith-based organizations, but we're going to be engaging with really any organizations that have events during the summer where we can reach the audiences and that we need to reach.
And final question. Is this something that you would expect to do on an ongoing basis, or is this more of a one-time thing to fill your slots?
At the moment, a contract of this level for this purpose is, we're seeing as a one-time thing. However, we are always reminding ourselves that every year there are 14,000 kids who both enter and exit our target age range. So we will always need to be promoting the program to families.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions? Councilwoman Baker.
You state here that you're 86% full, although there are some with waiting lists and some without. Do you have a listing of what schools are full and waiting and others that are not, and are there reasons for that?
Yes, we've got detailed lists of what the enrollment is at each of our UPK sites. There are varying reasons for why some are full and why some have waiting lists. Some of that is location, because we know parents want a school near where they live or work, so some locations are more attractive than others. And some of these organizations are simply more adept at promoting themselves and enrolling families. It's a constantly changing picture of where there are seats, but we have a very good handle on where, at any given point in time, where they are. Mm-hmm. Most of the, these children are always dropped off by their parents. And we don't offer transportation options specifically through the work that we do. Some of the centers may. themselves offer transportation to their families. But we know families usually want a school near where they live or where they work for those very logistic reasons.
When we were 3 and 4, we used to walk a mile each way uphill, but, you know, things have changed now. Sorry.
Reasons outside of what you can offer are not being serviced because their parents can't drop them off?
There's a wide range of barriers that we face in enrolling kids. One of them is, I think, will be addressed through this outreach effort, and that is that there are a lot of parents that don't really see the value of preschool. They believe that school starts at kindergarten. They themselves never attended a preschool. And so simply generating awareness that preschool is school. This is an important thing. That will also be occurring through this outreach, and particularly through the social media portions of this. We're trying to sort of normalize the idea that preschool is expected.
Sure. Any other questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Item passes. Thank you.
Moving on to exemptions, item BC 2018-244, Office of Medical Examiner, recommending an alternate procurement process which will result in an award award recommendations to various providers in the total amount not to exceed $264,517.34, and is for the purchase of DNA genetic testing kits and other consumable supplies, and it's for the period April 16th, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. For the following vendors: A, Promega, and B, Life Technologies.
Hugh Shannon, Medical Examiner's Office. So these are very biologically sensitive materials. It's nothing that we can keep on the shelves for any long period of time. And then we have a basic idea of what we need for any given period of time, but in the short run, we may need more of these kits depending on caseload. So in order to make it easier for us for ordering, we put together the procurement this way so that they can just be done on an as-needed basis. And these kits are specifically designed for the equipment that is in the laboratory. They're technically not sole source because these vendors often have distributors throughout the country, but over the course of time, and they are put into buy speed so that we always check, but over the course of time we found that the distributors can never undersell the main manufacturing where we have our main agreements with. So it just makes sense to do it this way so we can get them when we need them.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none. Oh, Councilwoman Baker.
We have distributors that can never undersell? I've never heard of that.
They have, we went back 10 years and the distributor had never given us a price lower than the main vendor.
Good to know. Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Baker. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you. And now we're on to the consent agenda. It's one item 245.
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions? And I will pause for a moment. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I move to approve. Is there a second? Seconded. seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Item passes. Thank you. And is there any other business?
No other business at this time,
Okay, is there any public comment?
and no public comment.
Then I move to adjourn. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Baker. All those in favor, please say aye. Adjourned.